The twin suns of Aurora 7 dipped low over the horizon, casting long shadows across the jagged plains and the sprawling human colony that clung stubbornly to life at the planet's edge. The wind carried the scent of metal and dust, a constant reminder of the struggle to survive on a world that seemed to resist every step humanity had taken. The colony's structures were a patchwork of reinforced alloys, glass domes, and salvaged machinery, all stitched together by human ingenuity. Despite the hardships, there was a rhythm to life, a determination that could not be extinguished. Commander Elias Mercer walked through the central concourse, his boots clanging against the metal walkways. He had seen many battles in his life, but the tension in the air today was different. It was not the usual threat from rogue miners or a malfunctioning drone. It was something larger, something that weighed on every decision the colony made. Reports had come in from the outer sensors. The Xyler Collective, an alien alliance renowned for their advanced technology and ruthless efficiency, had deployed scouts near Aurora 7's orbit. They were observing, calculating, waiting. The humans were an anomaly to them, small and fragile, yet stubbornly alive. Elias stopped at the communications hub, where a team of cadets monitored incoming transmissions. "Any updates?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. A young officer looked up, eyes wide with tension. "Commander, we've intercepted partial signals from the scouts. They're unlike anything we've seen. Their ships phase through energy barriers, and their weapons are capable of cutting through our hulls with minimal effort. They're studying us, analyzing patterns. It's like they're preparing." Elias nodded, his jaw tightening. "Then we need to prepare as well, alert the engineering teams and ready the planetary defenses. I want every civilian who can lift a tool or fire a weapon to be ready. Humanity survives by adapting, not surrendering." He moved toward the central tower, where Dr. Lyra Kale, the colony's lead scientist, was working. Lyra was a woman of quiet intensity, her sharp eyes always reflecting a mind at work. She had been experimenting with cross-dimensional energy, trying to find a way to shield the colony using human bioresonance, a concept so advanced that even the most seasoned engineers struggled to grasp it. Today, however, her focus was interrupted by the news of the scouts. "Lyra," Elias said as he entered her lab, "the Xyler scouts are closer than we thought. Their full fleet could arrive within days." Lyra looked up from her console, her fingers stilling on the holographic keyboard. "I know," she said softly. "I've been running simulations. If I can synchronize the colony's bioenergy grid, we might be able to generate a protective shield. But it's risky. If it fails, it could destabilize the entire system." Elias frowned, studying her. "Then we make it work. Humanity has faced impossible odds before. We survive because we refuse to quit." They exchanged a look that spoke volumes. Neither trusted the other fully yet. They were from different worlds of thought. Elias, the tactician, relied on action and instinct. Lyra, the scientist, relied on theory and precision. But survival required cooperation. They had no choice. The first sign of trouble came that evening. Aurora 7's night was short and bitterly cold, but the sky lit up with streaks of blue light as the Xyler scouts approached the colony's outer perimeter. Sirens wailed, red emergency lights bathing the structures in an urgent glow. Civilians ran to shelters, armed only with improvised weapons and raw courage. The colony's militia scrambled to their posts, their faces pale but resolute. Young cadets took positions on observation decks, gripping rifles that were barely sufficient against the alien technology. Elias and Lyra coordinated the defense from the command center. Through the transparent dome, they could see the sleek alien ships weaving between Aurora 7's mountains and canyons with impossible precision. Energy beams lanced across the sky, slicing through metal and stone, but the humans were quick, using the terrain to their advantage. Automated turrets opened fire, lasers meeting alien shields, sparking and rebounding in bursts of light. Despite the chaos, Elias noticed something remarkable. Civilians were not panicking, they were improvising. Miners turned their excavation drills into weapons. Engineers rerouted power from research labs to reinforce the turrets, and children ran messages between posts faster than the colony's automated systems could. There was an energy, a determination in humanity that no alien technology could predict. Lyra's bioenergy grid hummed as she worked. She tapped into the network of volunteers who had agreed to synchronize with the shield. their collective focus generating the first glimmers of a protective barrier around the central colony dome. "It's holding," she whispered, eyes wide with both fear and hope. "But it's not enough to stop the entire fleet. We need to divert them." Elia's mind raced. He would need to lead a strike team to intercept the scouts. He called for his best soldiers and hand-picked volunteers from among the civilians. "We move fast, hit where they least expect it, and buy Lyra time," he said. "This is our chance to prove that human courage is more than just survival instincts. It's ingenuity, resourcefulness, and determination." As the team suited up, a young cadet approached Elias. "Sir, what if we fail?" His voice was trembling, but there was a spark of determination in his eyes. Elias knelt to meet him at eye level. "Then we fight harder. Humans are not defined by how many times we fall, but by how many times we rise. If we fail, it will not be for lack of courage." The team moved through the colony's defensive tunnels, emerging into the twilight as the scouts closed in. The humans were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had something the aliens could never fully anticipate: unpredictability. They used the rugged terrain, the canyons, and the mountains to create ambush points, setting traps and laying false signals to confuse the Xyler sensors. Every small victory fueled their determination. Elias led the first strike, targeting a group of scouts attempting to breach the mining outposts. He and his team moved like shadows, striking swiftly and retreating before the aliens could counterattack. Lyra monitored their progress from the command center, adjusting the shield to provide small zones of protection, buying her team precious seconds. The colonists watched from their shelters, holding their breath as their fellow humans risked everything for a chance at survival. Hours passed in a blur of action, tension, and ingenuity. The aliens, though technologically superior, were unprepared for the raw human spirit they faced. Every failed strike by the Xyler was met with human resourcefulness, every weapon destroyed was replaced by clever improvisation, and every lost comrade inspired the next to fight harder. It was not just a battle, it was a testament to humanity's unyielding will. As the night deepened, Elias and his team reached the central energy hub, the heart of Lyra's shield. A Xyler commander, towering and fearsome, confronted them, its energy blade slicing through the air with precision. Elias' team hesitated, but the commander's confidence was its weakness. Using quick thinking, Elias triggered a series of environmental traps, collapsing walls, redirected energy conduits, and improvised explosives. The alien stumbled, giving Elias the opening he needed to disable the ship's engines, sending it spiraling into the canyon below. Lyra, watching the synchronization of her shield, knew that the moment of truth was near. The energy from the volunteers surged. The shield expanded in a glowing dome of protective light, deflecting incoming attacks and stabilizing the colony's defenses. Humans were alive, standing taller not because of technology alone, but because they refused to surrender, even when faced with annihilation. By dawn, the immediate threat was repelled. The sky was streaked with smoke and debris, a stark reminder of the night's battle. The Xyler scouts retreated, at least temporarily, confused by the humans' resilience. Civilians emerged from shelters, exhausted but alive, repairing what had been damaged, sharing water, blankets, and words of encouragement. Young cadets, once terrified, now walked with a quiet confidence, inspired by the bravery around them. Elias walked beside Lyra, both watching the sunrise over Aurora 7. "We bought time," he said quietly, "but the fleet is still out there. This is only the beginning." Lyra nodded, exhaustion etched on her face, but there was determination in her eyes. "Then we continue. We learn, we prepare. Humanity is not just surviving, we are fighting for the right to exist, to thrive, and to rise above any challenge." The twin suns climbed higher, casting golden light across the colony. It was a new day, and with it came hope, courage, and the unbreakable human spirit. The battle had revealed something greater than survival: unity, ingenuity, and the strength to face impossible odds. Aurora 7 had survived the first strike, but the war for its future was just beginning. And humanity, against all predictions, had proven that it would not bow, not now, not ever. The skies above Aurora 7 were calm at first light, a deceptive peace after the chaos of the previous night. The twin suns rose slowly, casting warm orange light over the jagged mountains and the colony's domed structures. Smoke lingered in the air, but it was mixed with the scent of dust and human determination. Civilians walked among the damaged buildings, repairing walls and machinery, their hands steady despite exhaustion. Children carried small tools alongside adults, eager to help in any way they could. Even in the face of near destruction, humanity's persistence shone through. Commander Elias Mercer moved through the streets, his uniform dusty and torn from the previous night's battle. His face was stern, but his eyes betrayed a quiet relief. The first wave of scouts had been repelled, yet he knew the danger was far from over. He gathered a small group of officers and volunteers in the central plaza, their faces reflecting determination, fatigue, and unspoken fear. "Listen carefully," he said. "Last night we proved that we can fight and survive, but the Xylar fleet is still out there. They are smarter, stronger, and they will return. We need to prepare, and we need to act fast." He pointed to a series of holographic displays showing the outer perimeter, where debris from destroyed scout ships floated in orbit. "Lyra's shield held for now, but it can't withstand a full fleet attack without precise synchronization. We need a plan to keep them off balance, and we need volunteers to help power the shield. Everyone counts. Every life matters. Humanity survives because we fight together, not because we hide." Dr. Lyra Kale stepped forward, her hair still dusted with the remnants of the shield's energy discharge. She carried a small tablet projecting her latest calculations. "We can expand the shield's coverage," she explained, "but it requires energy input from both the colony and a network of volunteers. It will be physically and mentally exhausting. We will need to connect to each human's bioresonance to stabilize the field. The more people involved, the stronger the shield becomes." A murmur ran through the group. Some volunteers looked apprehensive, but many nodded with resolve. Elias caught Lyra's eye, seeing her determination and the weight of responsibility she carried. "We will make it work," he said quietly. "Humans adapt, humans endure, humans survive." Over the next hours, the colony transformed into a hive of preparation. Volunteers underwent a careful process to connect to the shield network, a procedure that involved mental focus and physical synchronization. Engineers worked to repair weapons and ships, often improvising with scavenged parts from destroyed scout vessels. Civilians trained quickly, learning how to fire energy rifles, operate turrets, and coordinate defense points. The city was alive with movement, a single organism focused on survival. Elias assembled a strike team of the colony's most skilled fighters to intercept any scouts approaching in the next wave. Among them were young cadets, miners turned soldiers, and a few seasoned officers. Their goal was not just to fight. They were to confuse, delay, and disrupt the Xylar fleet's attacks. Every diversion would buy Lyra time to stabilize and expand the shield. The team moved into the canyon network surrounding the colony, using the terrain to their advantage. Narrow pathways and rocky outcrops allowed them to set ambushes and evade the advanced sensors of the Xylar scouts. The first encounter came quickly. A scout vessel appeared, sleek and moving silently. Energy pulses shot from its hull, slicing through rock near the team's position. Elias signaled, and the team launched a series of explosives from concealed locations. The scout twisted and surged, avoiding some, but a well-placed blast tore through its energy conduits, forcing it to retreat. Lyra monitored the energy grid, adjusting the shield to cover the exposed areas. Volunteers inside the shield network concentrated on maintaining the field, their bodies trembling under the strain, sweat running down faces as their minds synced with the technology. Each successful defense felt like a victory, but Elias knew that the larger threat had yet to arrive. In the hours that followed, the Xylar scouts intensified their attacks. They sent multiple ships in coordinated patterns, attempting to breach the colony's perimeter and disrupt the shield network. The humans fought with ingenuity. Civilians launched improvised projectiles, engineers hacked damaged ships to create temporary drones, and cadets guided energy blasts to collide in midair, creating barriers of light and force that blocked alien weapons. Every action was a small victory, a reminder that humanity's strength was in its creativity and adaptability. Amid the battle, Elias and Lyra spent rare moments together, coordinating strategy and sharing silent acknowledgments. They spoke little, but their connection grew, formed in the crucible of danger. Elias admired Lyra's brilliance and courage. Lyra respected Elias' leadership and decisiveness. Both knew that survival depended not only on strength but also on trust, and that trust was slowly building between them. As night fell again, the Xylar fleet revealed their true intent. A massive ship, larger than anything the colony had ever faced, hovered at the edge of the atmosphere, its weapons capable of leveling entire sectors. Its arrival sent a shiver through the colony, a reminder that this was no longer a skirmish, it was an invasion. Volunteers strengthened the shield network, their minds straining to maintain focus, while the strike team prepared for a dangerous mission. They would infiltrate the alien ship, disable its engines, and give the colony a fighting chance. Elias led the team with precision, navigating through the canyon network and up the jagged cliffs that led toward the alien ship. Energy pulses lit the sky as scouts pursued them, but the humans used every advantage of the terrain, setting traps, collapsing rock formations, and using improvised explosive charges to confuse the aliens. Each maneuver required split-second decisions, testing human ingenuity to its limit. Lyra remained in the command center, her hands flying over the controls as she recalibrated the shield in response to the team's movements. She could feel the strain of the volunteers in the network, their collective consciousness feeding into the system. Her mind raced with calculations, constantly adapting to the unpredictable tactics of both humans and aliens. The shield glowed brighter, expanding in waves of energy that lanced into the sky, deflecting incoming attacks and protecting the colony below. Inside the massive Xylar vessel, the humans encountered their first real resistance. Alien drones moved with lightning speed, energy blades cutting through corridors. Elias' team used human unpredictability to their advantage, moving in unexpected patterns, using walls for cover, and turning alien technology against them. Each encounter was a test of skill and courage, but the team pressed forward, driven by the knowledge that the lives of thousands depended on their success. During the infiltration, Elias came face to face with a Xylar commander, a towering figure with armor that shimmered with energy. The commander's movements were precise, almost mechanical, but Elias noticed a pattern in the attacks. He used it, striking at the moments when the commander's weapon was slightly delayed. The battle was tense, every second a life-or-death gamble. Elias' team supported him, creating distractions and attacking from unexpected angles. Human creativity, unpredictability, and sheer determination began to turn the tide in the confined corridors of the alien vessel. Meanwhile, Lyra synchronized the shield with the colony's orbital defense grid, sending bursts of energy through the volunteers' bioresonance connections. The shield pulsed with light, deflecting massive energy beams aimed at the colony. She could feel the strain on each volunteer, their bodies trembling, their focus absolute. Sweat ran down her face, her breath shallow, but her resolve was unwavering. She would not allow the colony to fall while she still had the chance to fight. As the team reached the engine core of the alien ship, Elias set charges to destabilize the power source. The countdown began, giving Lyra the critical window to fully stabilize the shield. Alarms blared, corridors shook, and the Xylar commander rushed to stop them. The team fought with every ounce of skill and courage they had, pushing past exhaustion, fear, and the overwhelming odds. The charges detonated in a controlled explosion, sending shockwaves through the vessel and disabling its engines. The massive ship began to drift uncontrollably, giving the colony precious minutes to regroup and strengthen defenses. Elias and his team barely escaped, retreating back to Aurora 7's surface as the alien vessel spun away. The colony erupted in cheers, the shield shimmering and holding firm. Civilians, soldiers, and volunteers alike celebrated their first major victory. Humanity had survived again, not because of advanced technology alone, but because of creativity, courage, and unyielding determination. In the quiet aftermath, Elias and Lyra met on a high ridge overlooking the colony. The twin suns had begun to rise again, painting the landscape in golden light. "We did it," Elias said, his voice filled with exhaustion and relief. "But this is only the beginning. They will come back." Lyra nodded, her eyes reflecting both weariness and hope. "Then we will be ready. We have proven that human ingenuity and courage are stronger than fear. We have survived against impossible odds, and we will continue to rise." As they stood together, watching the colony begin repairs, a new sense of determination settled over them. Humanity had faced the first wave and emerged victorious. They had proven that even against an advanced and relentless enemy, human spirit, courage, and unity could prevail. But the story was far from over. The Xylar fleet would return, and when it did, the humans would need every ounce of skill, heart, and ingenuity to survive. And through it all, bonds were forming, love was growing, and a new dawn was beginning. A dawn that promised hope beyond worlds, sacrifice for the greater good, and the chance to shape a future that was truly human. The twin suns rose slowly over Aurora 7, casting long shadows across the battered but resilient colony. Smoke still hung in the valleys, the scent of scorched metal and dust mingling with the crisp morning air. The citizens moved carefully among the damage, repairing walls, cleaning debris, and helping each other in quiet determination. What had been destroyed could be rebuilt, and what had been feared could be faced. The first strike against the Xylar fleet had proven that humanity was unpredictable, clever, and unbroken. Yet everyone knew the larger threat had not passed. The massive Xylar ship had retreated only temporarily, a shadow of doom still lurking in the outer orbit, preparing for a full-scale invasion. Commander Elias Mercer walked through the central plaza, surveying the repairs. Soldiers, engineers, and civilians worked side by side, lifting heavy beams, recalibrating turrets, and coordinating logistics. Young cadets ran messages between stations, their faces bright with determination despite exhaustion. Elias stopped briefly to help a group of civilians stabilize a damaged shield node. Every small act mattered. Every human alive contributed to survival. It was more than defense. It was proof that people could rise above fear. Lyra Kale emerged from the energy lab, her hands smudged with soot and sweat, hair tangled from the intense hours spent stabilizing the shield. She carried a portable console, showing updated simulations. The expanded shield could hold against multiple energy blasts, but only if it remained fully powered by human volunteers connected to the network. Their minds needed to be synchronized with precision. Fatigue and stress could weaken the field. Lyra's brow furrowed as she studied the display. "We need more volunteers," she said. "Every second counts. If the shield falters, the fleet will breach our defenses and the colony will be destroyed." Elias met her gaze, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing on both of them. "Then we gather more people, every citizen capable of focus, every mind willing to synchronize. We connect them. Humanity survives together, not alone." He paused. "And we strike before the fleet fully reorganizes. We cannot wait for them to attack again. We have to take the fight to them." Plans were made quickly. Volunteer teams were organized to expand the shield network. Engineers and scientists helped the connected humans maintain mental focus, monitoring vital signs and adjusting energy flows. Every connection strengthened the shield, but the process was exhausting. People trembled as the energy flowed through them, some fainting from mental strain, others gripping tables and walls to remain steady. The grid became a living testament to human endurance. It hummed and pulsed with synchronized life, a web of hope spanning the colony. Meanwhile, Elias and his strike team prepared to board the disabled Xylar ship. Though its engines were compromised, it still harbored the alien fleet's command systems and powerful weapons that could be reactivated if left unchecked. To prevent another catastrophic attack, they needed to disable the ship entirely. Their approach was cautious, using maneuverable craft and covert pathways among asteroids and debris to avoid detection. Even with the ship crippled, Xylar drones patrolled its hull, scanning for movement. Inside the vessel, the team moved with precision, navigating corridors lit by cold, alien light. Drones detected movement and fired energy pulses, but humans were unpredictable. They dodged, hid, and struck with makeshift tools and agility. The alien technology, though advanced, could not anticipate human improvisation. Each encounter was tense, requiring split-second decisions and coordination. Elias led the team through the vessel, disabling weapon arrays and sabotaging power nodes. Every successful strike reduced the ship's capacity to threaten Aurora 7. Lyra remained in the command center, monitoring the shield and the strike team's progress. The volunteers' energy fluctuated, some faltering under the strain. She called out instructions, guiding them with precision, and even connected her own bioresonance to stabilize the network. The shield expanded, shimmering like a protective dome around the colony, absorbing alien energy pulses that struck the perimeter. It was beautiful and terrifying, a tangible manifestation of human resolve. As the team approached the ship's main control chamber, they were met by the Xyler commander, larger and more imposing than any drone. Its energy blades slashed with deadly precision, forcing the team to take cover. Elias studied its movements, noticing subtle patterns in its strikes. He realized that despite its advanced technology, it followed predictable sequences, something a human mind could exploit. With a nod to his team, he initiated a coordinated maneuver, drawing the commander into a confined space. Explosives planted along the walls triggered in sequence, destabilizing its footing. Elias struck, disabling the commander's energy core temporarily. The chamber shook as secondary systems failed, sending electrical surges through the ship. Alarms blared, echoing ominously through the corridors. The strike team pressed forward, planting charges at key points to prevent the Xyler vessel from stabilizing its engines. Every second was critical, every move a gamble. Outside, Lyra coordinated the final phase of the shield, focusing every remaining volunteer's energy into a powerful wave that would cover the colony during the strike team's extraction. As the final charges detonated, the massive Xyler ship quaked violently. Hull breaches sent debris spinning into space, and energy surges knocked out the remaining systems. The vessel's engines failed completely, rendering it immobile. The threat to Aurora 7 was neutralized, but the cost was high. Members of the strike team were injured, some critically, and exhaustion weighed heavily on every human involved. Elias felt the weight of responsibility settle over him. Every life saved was hard-won, every injury a reminder of the stakes. The team returned to the colony, where citizens awaited anxiously. The shield remained active, protecting the city as humans tended to the wounded, shared supplies, and began repairing structures. Even in the face of potential annihilation, hope persisted. People smiled faintly, exchanged words of encouragement, and celebrated the lives that had been preserved. It was a victory, but one tempered by loss and the awareness that the Xyler fleet could return with greater force. Elias and Lyra stood together on a ridge overlooking the colony, the twin suns casting long shadows over the mountains. Elias' uniform was torn, his face streaked with dirt and sweat, but his eyes held quiet determination. Lyra's hands rested on the console she had carried outside, her body exhausted but steady. They shared a look that spoke without words, gratitude, trust, and something deeper, a bond forged in shared struggle. "We did it," Elias said softly, watching the colony below. "The fleet won't threaten us again tonight, but we can't let our guard down. They will regroup. They will return." Lyra nodded, feeling the weight of both exhaustion and relief. "Then we prepare. Humanity has proven it can endure and innovate. We will survive not because we are stronger than them, but because we are unpredictable, determined, and united." She paused, her gaze meeting his. "And because we care for each other, for every life. That is our strength." In the days that followed, the colony rebuilt. Structures damaged in the battle were repaired with ingenuity, weapons were upgraded, and the shield network was strengthened and made more efficient. Volunteers trained new recruits in synchronization, creating redundancy to ensure the system could function even if some faltered. Engineers studied alien technology, incorporating what could be adapted safely into human systems. Every success reinforced the colony's confidence. Elias and Lyra worked closely, refining strategies and preparing for the possibility of future attacks. Alongside their duties, a quiet affection developed between them. It was subtle at first, expressed in shared glances, small gestures of support, and mutual respect. Amid chaos, love had emerged, a reminder that humans could feel, connect, and inspire each other even in the darkest times. One evening, as the colony gathered for a moment of reflection, Elias addressed the citizens. "We faced a threat greater than any we have known. Yet here we stand, alive, stronger, united. This victory is not just ours. It is proof that humanity will rise in the face of any challenge. We survived because we refused to yield, because we adapted, because we trusted each other. Let this be our example. As long as we stand together, nothing can extinguish our spirit." Lyra watched him speak, proud of the courage and wisdom that defined him. She felt the surge of pride and hope that had carried her through the long nights, guiding her hands and mind to protect the colony. They had faced the Xyler together, and together they had prevailed. The twin suns dipped below the horizon once more, casting a golden glow over Aurora 7. Children played among the repaired buildings, adults repaired the last broken systems, and volunteers prepared for the future. The colony was alive, thriving against impossible odds. Humanity had survived not because it was stronger than the Xyler, but because it was resilient, resourceful, and united. In the quiet after the long days of battle, Elias and Lyra stood together on the ridge once more. The wind carried the faint hum of the shield network, a reminder of the combined effort that had preserved their home. Their hands brushed, a silent acknowledgement of the bond that had formed. Love, sacrifice, and determination had triumphed over fear, proving that humanity's strength was more than physical. It was courage, ingenuity, and compassion. The stars above Aurora 7 twinkled faintly in the night sky. Somewhere beyond the horizon, the Xyler fleet lurked, but for now, humanity had claimed its victory. The dawn of a new future had begun, a future built on unity, bravery, and the indomitable human spirit. A future where love could flourish even amid chaos and where every life mattered. Elias turned to Lyra, his voice calm yet resolute. "We've survived this battle. Tomorrow we prepare for the next, and together we will ensure humanity rises beyond every challenge." Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the twin suns' last light. "Together," she said softly, and in that moment standing side by side they both knew that Aurora 7 and humanity itself would endure. No matter the odds, no matter the enemy, humans would continue to rise, to fight, and to shine as a beacon of hope among the stars.